Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show and my SimCity Let's Play for Friday, April 19th, 2013. My name is OperationDx, and we are working on the city of Riverview, my second tech industrial city for this series. As mentioned in the previous episode, we are going to go ahead and start plopping down some parks to wealth up the region and get things going. We've already got some good, nice sized buildings kind of moving in here. I'd like to get those moved up into a higher tier of wealth, so let's go ahead and take a look around here. We're going to go with the nature parks. Those are the good ones to go with if you want to go ahead and try to wealth up with medium wealth. Of course, there's the plazas, which do usually the higher wealth, and we're pretty much not really going to go in that direction with this city. Perhaps in our sleepy town we'll kind of do like a mix of medium to high wealth, but we'll see when we get there. But here's one of those bigger parks. I want to get one of those really giant parks and plop, and you can see all the happy people. Yeah, that's a good one. Especially after dropping that garbage facility, people were not happy with that, and we'll try to kind of bring things back up to a higher level here. So we're going to do another pretty large size park here. This one's kind of expensive. Both of these parks are actually kind of expensive per hour, but it's alright. We'll be making a lot of money really short here. And then a little bit down the line, we'll get to see my nice little fail. Probably not my last, definitely not my first. But yeah, as you can see, if we got those parks down, we are definitely getting a nice boom, and all those buildings are upgrading. So our money kind of took a little bit of a dip, but I suspect we are going to start getting a nice bit of per hour income. So I'm going to just go ahead and continue being generous with these parks and make my Sims happy. Not that we're particularly going for that in this city, but why not, eh? And that's actually something I didn't place down in the last city, was the baseball diamond, and I think this looks pretty cool, and I actually like where I placed it, right down there next to the water. It's a good thing I didn't face it the other way, because those home runs would have landed in the water. That would have been no good. Of course, we really don't have a choice in the matter. It's all connected to the roads. Anyways, oh, look at that. My police station, which doesn't have any upgrades, is not quite coping with crime, and it looks like I might have an issue with crime in a little bit here. Oh, and that's already filled up all the way to max. So let's go ahead and spend the little money that we actually have right now and upgrade to get a jail cell. And we're not doing too bad, a little over 3,000+ per hour, and things are still growing up here, so we should be fine. We should be fine. Good enough to get things moving along, that's for sure. However, I think we're actually still paying off those $100,000 bonds. We took out 3 of them in the beginning of this episode, and once those are done, we're actually probably going to start just making a good, nice flow, because I believe that was like a nice minus couple thousand per hour. And we're probably not going to pay those back. We're just going to let them pay them off by themselves as we slowly grow here. So I thought it was kind of odd that I had a power warning and the caution sign there. You can see it's yellow on the bottom. I was like, what the crap's going on? We got plenty of power. And then it says, oh, we're almost out of coal, because I forgot to hit the checkbox on the import coal from the global, because we're not actually making it ourselves, which makes me need to go ahead and do the next thing I'm going to need to do anyways, which is build a trade depot so that we can start to specialize. And not only does that provide a nice surplus for the power plant and probably power plants later on, it's going to be a nice place where we can just import our coal and ore right next to the entrance here, and we'll be able to smelt that and turn that into alloys in a little bit here. That's the plan. Now, I probably should leave that building there, the general lot, but I'm not going to. We don't really care about the industry in this city, really. We're trying to just specialize. Once we get to that specialization, we're going to do the same kind of thing which we did with IndieDX, and that is wipe out the basic industry, which is completely not necessary, and just taking up jobs that should otherwise go into the city specialization. At first, this may seem kind of like an odd maneuver. Why would I just be importing coal and ore? But it works out in the end, trust me. It's much better than setting up that mine. You know, and you have to get all your utilities constantly upgrading. You have to spend all that extra money to get those going. So right now we're going to lay the groundwork for the initial area, which I'm going to place down the smelting facility. And again, we don't need that metals HQ, but I'm not going to get into it again. It's already unlocked for us, and we'll be able to just place it down without the metals HQ, which we do have in the region. We've also got the electronics HQ, but we seemingly have to build that again for some reason. So pretty much just for grins, I'm checking the data maps. It looks like we have a freaking ton of ore, but actually not very much coal. And it looked like when I first moved into this region, it looked like it should have enough of both. In fact, I thought there was actually oil on this plot, but I completely missed that. I'm sure if I go back and look at the video when I initially bought this plot of land, I'll see that there is no oil. I don't know why I thought there was. Maybe it was because of the fact that I was traveling around and looking around at other plots. I got the idea that that was going to take place. But here we go. Smelting factory, let's get you down. And we just got the amount of money we needed to go ahead and place that. But I'm actually going to kill a little bit more time here with kind of like a scenic look here across the water here. Kind of reminds me of my hometown area. There's something very similar going on in my hometown where there's like a city across the water and then the city right here. And it's really reminiscent of what my hometown looks like. And I think that is just excellent. But anyways, we've built up a nice amount of money. We actually had enough money to place it just a second ago. But I want to get a little bit extra money so that I could place the alloy lot, because this one starts with the metal place. And I wanted to go ahead and get the alloy lot in there. So let's go ahead and plop that down. And we should have just about enough money to place down the alloy lot. So let's go ahead and knock this guy over, because we want to produce alloys. And fail. Yep. What did I just do? I just replaced the metal lot with a metal lot. And just wasted about, I don't know, 25, 30,000. There you go. I really have absolutely no excuse for that. And it's funny because at this stage I hadn't even realized that I'd done that. So I'm just prepping this import depot for alloys. Little do I know that I'm not producing alloys. Well, I'll figure it out in a little bit. So, just a minor mistake, no big deal. We're actually trucking along pretty nicely here as I place down my alloy lots. And I'm probably going to transition this into a processor / alloy lot, just like we had in IndieDX. But for now, I'm attempting to export something that I'm not producing yet. And at some point, I will figure it out. But when I was placing down these upgrades for this trade facility, I had realized that, oops, I didn't put any trucks in the other trade facility. So we've only got one truck thing there. So let's go ahead and upgrade this one. And again, we're working with a tight budget of just a few thousand. So I'm only able to place a couple, and I have to wait a couple seconds here. So tick-tock, 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 just wasting time. Nothing to see here. And then we're popping back in. We'll finish upgrading and place the sign. Of course, I gotta zoom in. Zoom in, zoom in. Gotta see the sign. Oh, I didn't do it this time. I always do that. Every time I place a sign, I zoom in. And that's the one time I didn't do it. What the heck? And then, of course, here's my big revelation. What the crap? I'm not producing alloys. I'm producing metals. So what do? Instead of waiting it out, I just drop a metal slot and start trying to export the metals. Oh man, the fail knows no bounds. Honestly, I have no use for metal. Anyways. And then I realized, oh yeah, the thing cost 36,000 and not 25,000. I wouldn't have been able to place that down in the first place. But as we're checking our power here, we're in the negative power grid, and of course that makes sense because we just placed the smelting facility, and you've always got to kind of keep an eye on these things. Every time you place down a processor facility or a specialization building, especially like the smelting plant, it requires a ton of juice, and I'm just going to go ahead and fully upgrade my coal power plant here because why not? We're probably going to need a couple of these suckers anyways. Okay, and now we're going to place the sign, and now I'm going to zoom in. Right? Yes. Because I always do that. I always look at the signs. I don't know why. I just do it. And with the placing of the sign for the power plant, that brings us to the end of our Friday episodes of our SimCity Let's Play. Thank you guys for watching the DX Gamer Show. I'll see you guys Monday for the next SimCity episodes. See you guys later. Take care and have a great day.